Hi everybody. In today's video, I want to talk to you about some of the practical issues and challenges of being a single mother by choice or a solo mom, and really the biggest concerns that women have when they're considering becoming a single mother by choice about the practicalities of actually doing it. Things like, how can I look after a newborn by myself? How can I get things done at home while I'm looking after a baby? How on earth can I afford all the baby gear? How am I supposed to build a strong support network? And how on earth am I ever going to get any time off as a solo mum? So how do I know about this stuff? Well, because I had all of these questions and concerns myself when I was starting down the path of becoming a single mother by choice. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is TJ, and I'm actually a solo mum to a little girl. At the moment, she's 2 years and 3 months old. I had her as a single mother by choice, which means I used a sperm donor. I didn't do it with a partner. And because I was older, I also used donor eggs. So I used donor sperm and donor eggs. So my daughter is a total miracle, double donor baby. And I've made many videos about how I had always had a lifelong dream of having a baby with a beloved partner, and that didn't happen. And when I was 46 and a half, I realized I'd run out of time, and if I wanted a child, I had to do it by myself. And I had baby Star when I was 48, so I also did it as an older mother. So I faced all of the questions that I'm going to talk about in this video. I had all those worries, all those concerns, and then after my baby arrived, I had to deal with all of these challenges when actually raising my daughter by myself. And I've come up with lots of solutions and strategies for how to make this process of being a solo mum much easier. I've actually had an incredibly easy 2 years, which sounds crazy because I'm doing this by myself. I have no family living in this state. I've had no live-in help, no live-in nanny. And honestly, it's been the best 2 years of my life. So I feel qualified to talk about these issues and these challenges that women have as solo moms and that women worry about when becoming solo moms. And I will tell you during the video where you can go to get information that will teach you the tips and strategies that will help you make your solo mum journey easier. But in this video, I really want to just talk about what these challenges are and what it is that everyone's worrying about, including me, what I worried about. And I'm actually pregnant right now. For those of you who don't know, most of you know this, but I'm actually pregnant right now with baby number 2 at age 50. I'm about to be 28 weeks in 2 days, so he's almost here. He'll be here in like 2.5 months, 3 months. It's crazy. I'm in the 3rd trimester. I don't know how that happened. But so I'm going to be a double solo mom, single mother by choice to 2 kids. So the practicalities, the practical issues of this are very large for me right now because I'm trying to figure out how I will cope by myself with a second child. So a lot of the things that we're going to talk about in this video also applies if you've got more than one child as a single mother by choice. So let's get into it. Okay, so one of the biggest questions and concerns that women have when they're considering having a baby by themselves is how on earth am I supposed to look after a newborn baby by myself? Because in a married situation or a coupled situation, you have someone else in the house with you, going through it, waking up in the middle of the night, dealing with the newness and the unfamiliarity of it. You have someone there who can make calls for you or ask relatives to come over or tell relatives to stay away. They can kind of set the boundaries around the perimeter while you can be with your baby, like if you have a husband or a partner there. But when you're by yourself, you don't have someone to do any of that. So a lot of women really worry about, how am I going to manage a baby by myself? I read so many posts about this in the Single Mother by Choice Facebook groups I'm in, and it's a legitimate concern. And also, because often women on the single mother by choice path can be a bit older because they've had many years doing a career, or they spent years hoping they'd meet the right man and it didn't happen, and then they suddenly realize they're out of time, they have to do it by themselves, which is what happened to me. Or maybe they've been trying to have a baby for a long time and their fertility journey has been long. But in my experience, probably the average age of solo mums tends to be older than the rest of the population, which can mean you may not have parents or aunties or uncles around to help you. Maybe your parents are elderly, or maybe, like in my case, my beautiful mother has passed away. Maybe one of your parents or both of your parents are no longer here, or they're just not in the prime of their life able to help you like a mother would be able to if they were in their 60s. Maybe your parents are in their 80s. So the doing it by yourself thing is very real as a solo mum. So this is a really legitimate concern. And I personally had this experience because my father, I think at the time baby Star was born, he was about 78. and still has a fair amount of energy. And he actually came up here to be with me to help me in those first few weeks. And he was here in the lead up to the birth, and he was able to drive me to the hospital, which I've shared in one of my other videos that I've made about my birth story, which you can see here. But he was not actually able to be there when I came home from the hospital. I did not share this story in that video because the video was already too long. But he unfortunately had to fly back to my home city because his brother became fatally ill, had a stroke, and actually passed away while I was in the hospital after giving birth. So my poor dad, I said to him, please fly home. He was waiting at my house for me to come back from the hospital. I said, please fly home. You don't want to miss saying goodbye to him. They're very, very close. I said, please fly home. I'll never forgive myself if you don't say goodbye to him because you're wanting to help me with the newborn. So please fly home. So he flew home, and I'm so glad he did because that was very precious for him, saying goodbye to his brother. But it meant I was by myself when I came home from the hospital with no one there. And yes, I had a midwife drop in on me once a week and my doula drop in on me once a week, my postpartum doula, but a couple of friends popped in. But basically I was there by myself 24/7. So I really know what this is like. So I can't go into in this video all the tips and strategies to help you because it would take an hour. But I have recorded an audio seminar about that where I've gone into everything I learned looking after that newborn by myself, because my father did come for 3 weeks later on in the piece, but apart from that short visit, I was by myself with her the whole time. Basically for the whole 2 years I've had her. I've looked after her 24/7. She's only just started daycare when she turned 2. So I really have had to learn how you can do this by yourself, but particularly when they're very, very small and they need you every second of the day and night and you're not getting normal sleep and they're completely dependent on you. I learned a lot of tips about how to make that work, about how to make that easier for yourself. So if you're worried about looking after a newborn by yourself and you're in a situation where you don't have a partner, you may not have family or close friends who can be there 24/7 to help you, please go and get that seminar. I've priced it like ridiculously low because I just want to help people. I put a lot of time into recording it. So I'll put the link down in the video description, but it's basically at my website, mybabydream.club, and go and listen to that. So obviously one of the biggest questions that women have on the practical side of becoming a single mother by choice is, how on earth do you do all of this on one income? And that is a huge question. And in many, many cases, many of the women I know who are solo moms, single mothers by choice, they are working full time. Their child is in daycare and they're having to look after their child by themselves in the evenings and the weekends, but they're having to really, really work huge hours to be able to afford to do this on one income. Now, I'm not qualified to help you on that topic because I have not been working outside of the home since my baby was born. So I'm not really going to address that one. There are lots of people who have addressed it. You can definitely read lots and lots of posts in the different Facebook groups for single mothers by choice, inside my own community, my Baby Dream community. It's a constant discussion. What kind of work can I get? What kind of job can I get to support myself? How can I pay for all of this? What I can talk about is what it's like if you're in a situation where you are staying home with a baby, but you need to work from home. And so in my case, I didn't go out to a job when my baby was born. I didn't have maternity leave and then go back to work. I just stayed home with her and found a way to work part-time from home. So I would say I did 4 to 5 hours work every day since she was born. The only exception I'd say is in the first trimester when I first was pregnant with this baby, I was so tired that normally when I would work, I was sleeping, taking naps. But apart from that, I've done 4 to 5 hours work pretty much every day, often 7 days a week, while I've been looking after her by myself full time. So I've learned a lot about how you can get stuff done at home while looking after a baby or a toddler. So I've actually made another seminar with a huge amount of detail and tips and strategies and everything that I have figured out that's enabled me to get 4 or 5 hours work done at home, while also looking after my child and having gorgeous time with her. So if you think you're going to have, say, an extended maternity leave, you're going to be home for 6 months or 9 months or 12 months, or you're someone who part-time wants to work from home or even full-time wants to work from home while raising a child, I highly recommend you listen to that audio seminar because I've come up with a lot of strategies that made it work really, really well. I can't go into them here because it will take an hour, but I have already recorded them for you. So definitely go check it out in the description, the Solo Mum Support Series, and listen to it. I just really want to share this stuff with you in this video because usually I just talk about my life and talk about my journey and I don't really let you know that I've actually created a lot of material to help you in your journey. because I'm not someone who likes to promote products. It's just not my personality. I don't think about it. I just make them and then I get on with making other videos. So I was thinking I really should just let you guys know that I've actually got these seminars and that they're really helpful and that they will address a lot of the big questions you're having right now about the practicalities of raising a child by yourself and of going down this path by yourself. Another issue that a lot of women worry about on the practical side of raising a baby by yourself as a solo mom by choice is, it looks like when you're coming into this that babies are really expensive, because you see these couples with all this fancy schmancy baby gear and prams and strollers and this and that and special toys and the whole thing, and it looks really, really expensive. And it can be extremely expensive, but you can also do it in a way that's much more budget friendly. And because I'm a solo mom, I'm only working part-time, I don't have a huge amount of savings, I don't want to blow them all on toys. So I have had to learn a lot of strategies to do this in a way that's more affordable. And I also know a lot of other solo mums and also just general mums who are on a very tight budget and have found lots of ways to do this without spending huge amounts of money. And in the area where I live, it's not an urban area, it's kind of country area. It's not a really high income area. And a lot of people that I know are doing this in a very, very low budget way, and their children are thriving. So I've recorded another seminar where I've talked about all the tips and tricks that I've learned and I've seen in the people in my community and a lot of the solo mums I know that have found ways to give your baby everything they need in terms of equipment and toys and all that without spending any money or without spending very much money. So if you know you're going into this and you're having to be very strict with the budget on the stuff you spend on babies without going crazy on baby cots and cribs and strollers and the latest toys and the beautiful wooden Montessori toys and all that, you know you're not going to be able to afford it, that is a seminar I recommend you listen to, because I've put lots of strategies and tips that I've used and that people I know have used to cut a lot of the expenses of the baby stuff. Baby stuff can be expensive and you can get really, really sucked into buying a lot of baby stuff that you don't need. And I'm really lucky because with baby number 2, I actually kept everything I had from the first baby, even though most of you who've seen my other videos know I wasn't planning 2 kids, I was planning 1. I was wanting to give my remaining embryo to my best friend. She decided she didn't want to do it after she sat with it for a year, but I had kept all the stuff to give to her. So when I decided to do it, I still had it all, thank God. So I haven't spent a cent on this second baby. Poor thing. I haven't spent anything on you. I've actually also adapted all of Baby Star's clothes, other than dresses, to a boy. So I haven't had to buy any new clothes. So I will make a video at some point about that because it's very, very cute and very funny. Quite creative how I've done it. Show you the before pictures of the clothes and the after pictures of the clothes. But there are lots of ways, if you're creative or you're thrifty or you're just savvy, that you can save a lot of money on baby stuff. So don't let the worries about the expenses of raising a baby put you off becoming a solo mom. So the next practical concern that women have when becoming a single mother by choice is, how do I build for myself a strong support system going forwards? Firstly, a support system for when I'm doing my IVF journey, because it's a lot to do it by yourself. It's one of the reasons I've created my private community, my Baby Dream community. We do live circles there once a month, kind of like Zoom, and we all share the challenges we're facing. And a lot of the women are at that point where they're doing IVF or they're doing embryo transfers and they don't have anyone to talk about it with, because then their other friends who are doing IVF are doing it with husbands, and everyone else in their life either already has babies or isn't interested in babies, so they don't have anyone. And if you don't have that person, that partner, that husband, you can feel very lonely. So that's one of the reasons I set up My Baby Dream community. So I definitely recommend you go and check that out. If you're thinking of doing this by yourself, go and join that. And also go and join lots of Facebook groups and any community group you can find. But it's not just during the IVF journey. Once your baby's born, you're going to need a support system. You're going to need a support network of people who can help you, because there are going to be times where you can't cope by yourself or you just want some time off. And even if you were coping really, really well and don't need time off, you're still going to need an emotional support system. You're going to need people to talk to. You're going to need people who understand what you're going through, who can cheer you on, who can empathize with the challenges you're facing, because every single phase of raising a baby and a toddler and a child has different challenges, and they change. Almost in the beginning, they change weekly. Like weekly, you are facing a completely different challenge. Like now I'm dealing with pacifiers, now I'm dealing with swaddles, and what do I do when they start eating solids, and then what happens when they're crawling, and this is like, endless. Later on, it's kind of like month to month you get new challenges, and I'm assuming when they get older it's year to year, but I'm in the month to month phase. It's like each month, my daughter's 2 years and 3 months, each month I'm dealing with something different than I wasn't. Like I had a period recently where baby Star would not get in her car seat. She just wouldn't get in. It would take me like an hour to get her in the car seat so we could leave the park and come home or get to a doctor's appointment. And I had to come up with serious strategies for that, but I had to have people I could call and vent to. Because it was driving me bonkers. I could only get her into the car by like bribing her chocolate or Bluey on the phone, And I needed people to support me through that. And then there have been times where I've had practical issues, like I got COVID once and I couldn't leave the house and I was sick. I had to get food. I needed to turn to my support system for that. So there's going to be small things, there's going to be big things, especially if you get sick or your child is sick or you're going to need help. So it's really, really important to know how to put together a support system, not just for your fertility journey, but also for your child raising journey. So I've made another seminar about that with everything I've learned in my experience about how to build a good, robust support system, as well as things I've seen other women do. Because, I'm connected to a lot of women now through my community, through many of the groups I'm in, and through my local mums groups. I'm watching a lot of women, and I watch, I learn. I'm a learner. I'm a researcher, as you can tell from my videos. And I implement everything, and I try it, and I see what works. So I recorded a really, really good seminar about how to build a support system. You need one. If you already feel you have a strong support system, you don't need that seminar. But if you're someone going into this really by yourself, maybe 1 or 2 friends, and that's it, who are supporting you, I strongly recommend you listen to that seminar. So the link is down the bottom in the description, mybabydream.club. One of the biggest questions that a lot of women have going into this about becoming a single mother by choice, and that I definitely had, it was one of my biggest worries, was how do you ever get time off? How do you get time off when you're doing this by yourself? Like people who are married or in couples, they get their husband to watch the child and they go out for a dance or they go for a walk or they go out for a coffee or they go get their hair done. And I've got most of my mum friends are in couples. So I see them all the time. They're out and about. I'm like, where's your child? I can't understand where their child is. I'm like, where's your child? What's happened? Oh, it's with his dad. He's with her dad. Because I forget that there are dads, because I don't have that in my life. So I get a shock when I see these 2 women out and about without their children. It's because the child is with the dad. So if I have a gathering at my house, some of my mum friends come by themselves because the kid is with the father, And so when you're a solo mum, a single mother by choice, you don't have that inbuilt childcare option. And as I've said, often single mothers by choice don't have parents around who are of an age where they can help that much because they might be older. Now, you might be in a situation where both your parents are still young and healthy and they live nearby and you're getting lots of free babysitting. But if you're not in that situation, you've got to come up with other strategies to get time off. So I've been in an interesting situation because I haven't really wanted much time off because, as I said, I've been in a bliss bubble with baby Star. It's been very joyful and very easy. I haven't had that urge to, I gotta get away. I gotta go and have a day to myself in a spa. Like I haven't had that yet. But just in case it happens, I have worked out plans. I've got strategies. I've thought about this because this was one of my main concerns before I started down this path. So I thought through a lot. I researched a lot. And I came up with lots of plans and I set a lot of things in motion. I just haven't really used them that much because I haven't really wanted much time off. But I might feel differently with number 2. I might be really, really run down by it. I might be drained by it. I might be touched out by it. I might be like, I gotta get away from these kids for a couple of hours and just watch a movie. Like I might get to that point when I have 2. And I'm very, very aware of that. So I'm really thinking through a lot of strategies, all the previous strategies I came up with that I didn't use that much, but are still there. So I actually recorded a seminar about this probably 6 months ago. I haven't even told you guys about these seminars because I'm too busy making videos and I forget. But I made a seminar with all the things, the strategies I've come up with to get time off that I will implement as and when needed, and that I've learnt and observed from all of my single mother friends around the world through my community and in all the Facebook groups I'm in. And even some of my coupled mum friends have some pretty good strategies to get time off, even though they've still got a partner. Some of them, their partners work a lot and they've had to come up with other ways to get time off. So I've done a seminar on that. Believe me, I'm going to be listening to my own seminar once this baby's born to remind myself what are all these ideas and strategies that I know of, that I've learnt of, and that I've had their ready and waiting, because I might really need to call on myself now once I have a second child. So I'm just going to quickly talk about one more challenge that some women worry about in the lead up when they're thinking about becoming a single mother by choice, and that you certainly will have to deal with once you become a solo mom. I've definitely had to deal with this one, and that is how to deal with the fact that most times when you go to a baby group, a baby activity, a mother's group, prenatal class, postnatal class, anything like that, you're probably going to be the only solo mum in that room or in that activity. That is just a fact. Unless you live somewhere with a really highly dense population, like maybe New York or something, where there's probably a higher percentage of solo mums, single mothers by choice around. But most other places, you're probably going to be the only one. Maybe there'll be one other. In my experience, I'm living in a part of Australia, it's not a big urban city. Everywhere I go, I am the only solo mum. I'm usually also the only single mum. Single mum, solo mum, totally different things. A single mum is someone who the two parents split up, separated, they're now co-parenting. Usually the mother has more custody and the father sees them maybe once a week, but they're dealing with different issues. They have much more time off because the father has the child some of the time, but they're dealing with drama and conflict with the ex, and it's a whole other thing. Solo mums don't have any of the drama or conflict, but we don't have any help. So it's just a different set of issues. So there's a little bit in common. I've actually made a video a while ago about the main differences and the main similarities between single mums and solo mums. I'll put a link to it over here in case you're interested in that, just curious. I would say that by the time my child is 5, there will be a lot more single mothers in the groups and activities I'm going to, because the marriages that are wobbly at the moment, some of them will have fallen apart by then. That's just reality. So when you walk into a baby class or a mother's group or a prenatal class as a solo mum, it can sometimes feel confronting, especially if you're in a room where no one else is yet single, the divorces haven't happened yet, they're all still kind of happily married, or they're going through marriage struggles and relationship issues, but it's just, they can't understand your situation. That you are fully financially responsible for your child, that you're the only person who's the person's guardian or backup, that you have to look after this child by yourself, that you have no help. They can't understand it. They can think they understand it, but they don't understand it. So I have been in that situation literally every single day for 2 years. And I've had to come up with a lot of strategies to deal with it so that I feel comfortable in those situations, so I don't feel isolated, so I feel I have support, so I feel I have mums I can turn to. So the last seminar I've recorded in this particular series is all the tips and strategies and everything I've learned in the last 2 years and 3 months, and actually really the last 3 years, because it's the prenatal classes and everything as well, about how to handle it if you're the only solo mum or single mother by choice in these situations, whether it's birthday parties, whether it's baby classes, whether it's mother's groups, whether it's prenatal classes. It's a big thing, and it can be very daunting for a lot of women, and it can sometimes even put women off going down this path because they're like, I'm going to feel really isolated, I'm going to feel really alone. You don't have to be. I don't feel isolated or alone. I feel like I've got a lot of connection with the other mums in my community. I feel like I've got a lot of empathy and understanding from them. I feel like I support them and they support me, even though we're in completely different situations. And I feel very comfortable now. I didn't in the beginning, but I feel very comfortable now in those spaces with other mums, even though I'm the only solo mum. And I don't think, oh, they're all pitying me or they're all thinking I'm weird. I don't have any of those thoughts. None of that's running in my head. I just feel I'm a mum, they're a mum, we're getting along, it's nice. But that took work, and that took a lot of strategies that I share in my audio series. So if you're worried about that, or you're currently in that situation, you now are a single mother by choice with a small child, and you're finding it uncomfortable going to these kinds of activities and groups and baby spaces and birthday parties, please listen to that seminar. It will help you a lot. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit comforted now that you're not the only person that has these worries and concerns. They are very real, they are very valid, and almost every woman going down this path has these worries and concerns. So this video here is also relevant to those of you going on the single mother by choice path. So make sure to watch it when you finish this one and enjoy it. And I really hope that this video has been helpful for you. I'm sending you all so much love. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.